A 99-cent ebook once cost me over $100. Not the book, the fees. A closed account, a forgotten PayPal link, and a banking system that calls charging you to reopen a dead account a courtesy. I will tell you the whole story in a few minutes, but here is what it taught me. Convenience is noise, and at 50 years old, I wanted peace. So today I'm showing you my cash envelope system. By the end of this video, you will have a cash setup for exactly how a woman over 50 years old actually spent. Not a 25-year-old's budgeting app, not 16 Pinterest envelopes, the real version, the one that I actually use. And we start with the envelope almost everybody forgets, the one that wrecks more budgets than any other. It is called a sinking fund. And before the name scares you off, it is just an envelope for the expenses that you know that are coming, but you do not know when. The car repair, the dental bill, the medical copay, the prescription, the gift that you have to buy because someone is getting married or graduating or turning 50. These are the expenses that wreck budgets, not because they are surprises, but because we treat them like surprises. They are not surprises, they are just irregular. And there is a difference. Now, here's exactly how I built mine. I drive a 10-year-old car, fully paid for, and because I take care of it, the oil changes, the tires, the brakes, all the regular maintenance, I keep every receipt. And one day I looked through those receipts and then I noticed something. Almost every single repair and maintenance visit came to about under $500. And the bigger ones, like replacing all 4 tires at once, which by the way is cheaper per tire than replacing them one at a time, those came in under $1,000. So I parked $1,000 and that became my car fund. And then I looked at my medical spending the same way, the co-pays, the prescriptions, the visits, and I raised the fund to $2,000 to cover both. Now, here's how you can do this for yourself. Even if you have not kept a single receipt, you can go through your bank statements from last year's, and then you can do a free trial on any budgeting software. And then you let it categorize this for you. Look at what you actually spend on car repairs, on medical, on gifts. The number is sitting right there in your own history. And for the car, you do not even have to wait for something to break to know how much it's going to cost. You can call the dealership and then give them your car model and then ask them what brakes will cost, what tires cost. They will give you a quote over the phone. Now you have a real number instead of a fear. Because that is what a sinking fund actually replaces. It replaces fear. Now, the $5,000 Central Air morning that I told you about in another video, that is what life looks like without a sinking fund. You wake up to a problem. With a sinking fund, you wake up to an inconvenience. The money is already parked, the emergency is already funded, and you just transfer and then you move on with your day. And one thing that I want to mention here is that I do not carry this fund around in cash in an envelope. It is parked in an account. The envelope method is for the spending categories, which brings me to the 2 envelopes that I actually use. Now, here's my confession about the cash envelope system. I do not do the full system. I never did. I did not even call it an envelope system when I started. I knew the system existed, but that is not where this came from for me. Where it came from was much simpler. I was tired of going over budget on the same 2 categories every single month, no matter how good my intentions were: groceries and my blow money. Those were my 2 problem categories, and the ones where the card made the money invisible, and the ones where I would look at the monthly total and not be able to explain it even to myself. So I did one simple thing. I pulled those 2 categories out in cash, and then at the start of the week, that's it. That is my entire envelope system. 2 categories, the 2 that I kept failing with. And I want you to hear that clearly because I think this is where most people quit before they even start. You do not need 16 envelopes. You do not need the Pinterest version with the labels and the gold clips. You need cash for your problem categories, the one where you keep going over. And for me, that was two. And for you, it might be one, it might be three. But start where you are actually bleeding, not where the system says that you should. Now, let me tell you the thing that makes the grocery envelope actually work because the cash alone is not the whole answer. The thing that made my grocery cash manageable was planning my meals ahead of time. And I know what happens when people hear meal planning because they think, oh no, that sounds like a whole job, containers everywhere, my whole Sunday is gone. It's not that. And let me show you how simple this is actually for a small family like mine. When I go to Costco and buy chicken or ground beef, I'm not making a meal that feeds us for one day. Every meal that I prepare gives at least two servings per person, which means, yes, you are going to eat the same thing twice in a week. And that is fine. That is the point. Because what that does is this across 7 days, I am really only cooking about three times. So that's three times a week. That is the whole commitment. And at my house, my son can cook, my partner can cook, so the load is shared. But even if it is just you, three cooking sessions covers the week. And here's why this matters beyond the money because most of us are not ordering food delivery because we cannot cook. We are ordering because it is 8 o'clock, we just got home, and deciding what to cook at the last minute is just one decision too many. So the meal plan, it removes that decision. The food is already in the refrigerator, already prepared and already portioned. So the grocery envelope and the meal plan, they work together. So the plan tells the envelope exactly what the week costs, and the envelope, it keeps you honest. Now, I want to tell you why cash works for me on a deeper level, because this is not just about budgeting mechanics. I grew up in Haiti. And the concept of debt, credit cards, loan for everyday things, that is not something that I grew up with. And I think that credit cards arrived in Haiti after I left. So I grew up in a culture where you save to pay for what you want. And if you do not have the money, you cannot afford it yet. And that was not devastating. It was not shameful. It was almost motivating. It was a challenge for us. And I watched people spend 5 years building a house in Haiti. They would build a small dependence first, a small structure, and then move into it. And then little by little, they will finish building the house as the money came. My parents paid cash for their cars. And if you could not pay cash, you could not afford it. That was the whole framework. And it wasn't devastating. So when I came to this country alone and then saw the entire credit system, the cards, the financing, the monthly payment and everything, what I felt, it was not excitement, it was disdain. Because the idea of owing a bank money, owing anybody money, it bothered me at a level that I now understand it was cultural. It was passed down to me. And when I tried to get on the bandwagon of tap the card, swipe for everything, it just created stress in my life that I did not need. Because here's the thing about coming here alone with no safety net. Every dollar had to answer to me. There was nobody to call if the money went wrong, no family cushion, no backup. So I could not afford to have my money floating around in system that I was not watching. So the envelope is just that. You just make it physical. Every dollar answering to you where you can see it, where you can touch it, where nothing happens to it without you knowing. Before I go on, I want you to drop your problem categories in the comments. The one that you know that you go over every month, no matter how good your intentions are. Mine was groceries. And I read every single one of your comments. And it turns out my old-fashioned instinct had science behind it. I was reading something from a neuroscientist recently about journaling, and he explained that when you write something down by hand, you retain it better than when you type it. So the physical act registers in your brain differently. That is why I still take handwritten notes when I watch a course or a video, and it is how the information becomes mine. So, cash works on the exact same principle because when you tap a card, nothing registers. You're not logging in into your account after every single grocery trip to check the damage. You know you don't. You just keep tapping. Out of sight, out of mind. But when the money leaves your wallet, you see it, you touch it. It becomes real at the exact moment that the transaction is happening. So, say your grocery envelope is $500 for the week. You take a trip to the store and then you spend 100. Your brain registers it immediately. I do not have $500 anymore. I have $400 now. And that awareness, it changes your behavior in real time because that extra trip to the store that you were about to make, you think about it now. Not because anyone is policing you, because you can feel the envelope getting lighter and lighter. And that is not deprivation, that is awareness. And awareness is the thing that the card was specifically designed to remove. Now, let me tell you the full story that I opened with because this is what the noise of convenience actually looks like. I bought a Kindle book for 99 cents. And at the time, my payment went through PayPal, and PayPal was linked to my bank accounts. And here's what I had forgotten: there was an old Bank of America account on that PayPal account, an account that I had closed a long time ago. So when that 99 cents transaction processed, it went to the closed account. And do you know what Bank of America did? They reopened my closed account to process a 99 cents transaction, and then they charged me a fee for about $25 for the privilege. And then PayPal kept representing that 99 cents. And every time they presented it, another fee incurred. So by the time that the whole thing was over, that 99 cents ebook had cost me over $100 in fees. And here's the part that really got me. I did not even find out from the bank. I found out when I went to open a savings account at a credit union, and then they told me I could not because I had unsettled debt with Bank of America. A debt from a closed account over a 99 cents book. So when I went to Bank of America and asked them if the account was closed, why did you process this at all? It should have been declined. Do you know what they told me? Oh, it was a courtesy. A courtesy. That courtesy blocked me from opening a savings account. That courtesy cost me $100. That courtesy is what the convenience system does when you are not watching. And when you reach 50 years old, you do not want to spend your life watching, monitoring, untangling, disputing. That is noise. And the envelope, the cash, the simple system, that is how I turned all that noise off. So here is exactly how you start. And I'm going to keep this as simple as my own system. Step one, you need to find that problem category because not all your categories are problematic. The one where you keep going over, look at your last 2 or 3 months of statements. The category that you cannot explain even to yourself, that is the one. And then step two, you set up the weekly number. Whatever your budget says that the category should be, pull it out in cash, and then you start the week. Step three, when the cash is gone, you're done for the week. No topping it up, no borrowing from next week. The envelope is your boundary. And then step four, you build your sinking fund on the side. You go through last year's statement, you find the numbers for car, medical bills, and then gifts, and start parking money towards that target. Mine is $2,000. Yours might start at $500, but start anyway. And here's the honest part. At first, it feels like a chore, and I'm not going to lie to you about it. Going to get the cash, carrying the envelope, it feels old-fashioned. It feels like it's just extra steps in a world that keeps telling you to tap and go. But it is a muscle, and like any muscle, you build it by repeating it. So give it 90 days. 90 days of doing this and it becomes automatic. And what you get on the other side of those 90 days is the thing I cannot fully describe until you feel it. Peace of mind. We do not realize how much noise we have invited into our lives in the name of convenience, the cards, the apps, the automatic everything. It was all supposed to make life easier. And instead, we are overspending, getting hit with fees, and then carrying a low grade money anxiety everywhere that we go. The envelope is quiet. The envelope does not charge fees. The envelope does not reopen itself as a courtesy. All right, now let me give you the whole system one more time. Number one, build a sinking fund for the irregular expenses, car, medical, gifts. Use last year's statement so that you can find out your real numbers, and then park it and stop being surprised by things that are not surprises. Number two, pull cash for your problem categories only, not 16 envelopes, the one or two where you keep going over. Number three, you make the grocery envelope work with simple meal planning, 2 servings per person, cooking 3 times a week. The decision removed before 8 o'clock arrives. And number four, give it 90 days. It is a muscle that you have to build. I grew up in a culture where you saved up for what you wanted. And if you did not have the money yet, you simply were not done saving. I watched houses get built over 5 years, one room at a time, fully owned at every single stage. And then I came here alone, no safety net, no family cushion, and every dollar had to answer to me because there was nobody coming to fix it if the money went wrong. This is the second birth, not just starting over at 50 years old, choosing on purpose which parts of the modern system actually serve you, and having the confidence to say no to the rest, even when the whole world calls it convenience, even when they call it courtesy. Simple is not being behind, simple is free. It's being free. And the most peaceful my money has ever felt was when I could hold it in my hand and then know exactly where every dollar was going. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Webley, and this is a financial control series for women starting over 50. Next in the series is how to reinvent yourself after 50 years old when no one is coming to save you. So subscribe so you do not miss it, and I will see you in the next one.